What's up, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of the Dossier, the Marvel Crisis Protocol show where we take a look at Crisis Protocol characters, their cards, what they bring to the table, the model itself, and just generally share our thoughts on them. Remember, this show is not a full-on review of the character. This is more just a snapshot and initial impressions. Obviously, if you want to get those really in-depth discussions, there's lots of great places online that you can go do so. And of course, this show can't happen without the wonderful support of all the patrons. Just a couple bucks a month, go to patreon.com/AegisBrandStudios. That keeps everything coming. It allows the content to stay current. And allows us to keep making this sort of thing. So thank you so much to everyone who is a patron over there. Definitely go check it out if you like what you see on this channel. And of course, get the YouTube algorithm going with a like, subscribe, all that sort of great stuff. Even comment below. For this particular episode, we are finally cracking into the mutant releases for this year. A little slow to release in Canada, but here we go. And we are going to start with Bishop, the man out of time here. So right off the hop, let's take a look at the model here. And I really like the model. I like the pose. I like the forward holding of like with that sort of like kinetic energy around his hand. I have heard some complaints that some people feel like the gun should be a little bit more rifle-like as opposed to, like, this looks a little bit more sort of like a submachine gun style thing. I'm personally okay with it. I think it looks fine. He's not quite as swole and bulky as he appears in the cartoons, and obviously I opted for the bald head, not the Jerry Curl option for this one. That was just kind of what I wanted to do for that. Otherwise, the model itself, I really dig it. I like it a lot. I think it has some really great options to it. The texture on a lot of it is quite nice. Like, in addition to the muscles, you can see some like small folds with the cloth as well. The bandana was a lot of fun to kind of paint up. The energy around his hand really good as well. So yeah, all in all, I like the model. I like the fact that they're doing something a little bit different with the bases here, not just tactical rocks, but we've seen a common theme through the X-Men with the damaged Sentinel pieces down there. Which just kind of really helps tie them all together. Of course, I had to panic and remember, okay, how did I paint the Sentinels? Because I want everything to look kind of coherent there. But overall, I really dig the model. I think Bishop himself is just a really solid model. Now, as far as what he brings to the table, if we take a look at his card here, and he's got a 3-4-3 defensive stat line. He's 6 stamina, 4 threat, size 2, medium move. Pretty decent for a 4 threat. He's got some really nice defensive tech that we'll get to when we get to his superpowers here. He does go down to 5 stamina on his injured side, and there is a power that kind of interacts with that in kind of an annoying way. We'll get to that in just a moment, though. But just on paper himself, his stat line seems fine. Seems good for a 4 threat. So for his attacks, his first attack is an energy attack, range 4, 5 dice, the XSE Blaster. It is your typical builder attack, and after the attack is resolved, if the character is within range 3, it gains the Incinerate special condition. Just auto-incinerate, gotta love it. Don't have to roll any wilds and all that sort of stuff. Really encourages Bishop to get nice and close to the target models. So I like it. Next up, we have another attack, Return with Interest. It's an area 2, 7 dice for 5 power. Off the hop, this seems very expensive, and it seems like it's falling into the trap of, not very good area attacks in terms of balancing. However, when we start looking at the actual text of the card, the first thing he can do is he can actually choose the attack type. So this can be energy, physical, or mystic. So right off the hop, being able to choose a dominantly good attack type for this area attack is really kind of nice. If you can get multiple targets with it, you can choose the right thing, you can really do a lot of hurt. Secondly, during the pay power cost step of the attack, you can actually pay up to 3 additional power, adding an additional attack die for each power spent, potentially making it a 10 dice area to attack for 8 power. I really like this. I think that is absolutely fantastic. It can really make for a very, very strong attack and gives Bishop a nice little panic button if he gets a little bit swamped. Lastly, we have a Wild Extreme Force. After each attack is resolved, the character pushes the target away short, and then the target character gains the Slow special condition. Just a nice little extra touch to it. It's nothing really fancy. Being able to toss a slow out, cool, display some guys, really nice. Really good for those central objectives, the researchers, the gammas, the delta, the demons, or anything like that, where you can just like push a whole bunch of maybe potentially activated characters off a point and really take advantage of his crowd control in that one. So next up we have this is just an active ability here. It is absorbed energy conversion. It is 3 power. It is a size 4 terrain throw, or enemy character throw, I should say. Range 2 and medium throw. So the fact that it is a size, did I say size 3? It's a size 4. So he's got a size 4 terrain and character throw. This is fantastic. For 3 power, I love this. Obviously it's not as good as like the premier throws in the game, but I will take a size 4 throw that's either terrain or characters any day of the week for that power. Next up we have an innate ability called mutant energy absorption. And this is great. This is why I actually really enjoy playing Bishop. When this character is defending against an attack for each wild in the defense roll, it may change one of the attacker's hits, crits, or wilds to a blank. This character gains 1 power for each die changed in this way. So not only is it a reverse pierce, but it's a way of also generating power on top of that. So not only can you turn a couple successes off, potentially even like triggers with this ability, you're getting power for it on top of all that, which is just going to fuel Bishop's ability to clap back, which is really nice. I really like this ability when we see it in other places. For instance, it's a favorite of mine on the new Cosmic Carol, the Cosmic Avenger. I really like it on Bishop. Combined with his stamina and his defensive stat line, this is really nice. And in the games I've been playing with him, it has saved my bacon on a number of occasions. Next up, we have another innate power called Overload. Now, this one's a little controversial. At the start of the power phase, if this character has 8 or more power, it suffers 1 damage. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Unfortunately, this is strictly a negative for Bishop. Usually, if he's getting dazed, he probably hasn't had a chance to get rid of a lot of his power. And as a result, he's quite often waking up, taking one less damage. And considering he starts at 5 stamina on his injured side, he's effectively 4 stamina on his injured side. That feels really kind of bad. I wish this was something that maybe happened during the cleanup step or something like that. It gives you a little bit more control over it, and wasn't something that he wakes up and immediately takes a damage. It's a little unfortunate. It's probably going to be the biggest reason why he doesn't see more play, but it just kind of it is what it is. Lastly, he has a number of immunities: Incinerate, Poison, and Stun. Solid immunities. I like them all. It makes sure that it means he's always getting his power for the most part. But that immunity to Incinerate as well makes him really solid on demons. So does he bring anything else to the table? Well, he also has a card that he brings with him, and this one's actually paired with Gambit. It is called Mutant Trader. It's an unaffiliated card. It does require an action. During Gambit's activation, he may play this card while within 3 of an allied Lucas Bishop. The allied Lucas Bishop immediately makes the attack shown above. It's an energy attack, amplified ammunition, beam 3, 6 dice, 0 power. There is a wild kinetic, which pushes a character away short. There is a double wild overcharged, where wilds will count as 2 successes. However, after all attacks are resolved from the beam, Bishop would take 1 damage from it. And then a crit skull, Gambit's Grace. During the modified dice step of each attack, this character may change all skull results to the attack roll in the attack roll to a wild result. So it's not strictly a Bishop card, but something he brings to the table. It makes Gambit kind of interesting. I don't know if it's really worthwhile. There's a lot of triggers there. It's really reliant on those wilds, and of course you got to get that crit skull in there as well. But it's kind of a cool card. So where does that leave us with Bishop? Well, obviously he's an X-Men affiliated character. He's also X-Force affiliated character. Between the two, I think he does a little bit better in X-Force, getting that reroll, getting to ignore cover within range 3 as well as apply that Incinerate. X-Force can play a lot more of an aggressive game than X-Men can sometimes. So I think he likes X-Force a little bit more. He likes that leadership. He pairs very well, in my opinion, with Cable, where if somebody's attacking Bishop, you can pay with Cable to give him some extra defense dice and just get more opportunities to hit those wilds. So yeah, outside of that, I think he might have some play in some gun lines. I want to try him around in a couple different places. I do like the idea of maybe trying him out with my Shield roster a little bit, but obviously with how late he showed up, haven't had a chance to do so just yet. But yeah, otherwise he's Bishop. I think he's a fine character. That Overload is a little unfortunate that he has it on him, but otherwise I've enjoyed him quite a bit. In my opinion, he's one of my favorite of the 4 new X-Men that I've gotten my hands on. So that is Bishop. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you like, didn't like. Let us know if you've had any success with him outside of those affiliations as well. We want to hear from you. And obviously, support the channel at patreon.com/AegisBrand Studios or hit up iWargame.net and use code AegisBrand. Save 10% on your purchase. Thank you so much for watching. Happy wargaming. We'll see you next time.